She wanted the soft life.
She wanted the soft life. But some blessings come with a price.
Hospital after hospital, test after test, nothing worked.
No, no, no!
Then, the impossible happened.
One family destroyed, one secret still hidden, and another victim already walking into danger.
No! Not my daughter! Cynthia! Wake up! Don't leave me!
Airplane finally landed in Ghana. One after another, passengers began coming down from the plane. Among them was Cynthia, rolling her traveling box with her handbag hanging on her shoulder. As her feet touched Ghana soil, she paused for a moment, looking around in disbelief. She smiled to herself. So, Nami don't finally reach Ghana like this? Just like play. What God cannot do does not exist. Happiness filled her heart. For Cynthia, this trip felt like a dream becoming reality. After completing immigration and airport security checks, she stepped outside the airport entrance. Immediately, she noticed a dark-complexioned man standing beside a shining black SUV. The moment the man saw her, he quickly walked toward her and politely asked if she was Cynthia. When she confirmed, the man introduced himself as Chief Raymond's driver. That alone made Cynthia more excited. The driver collected her luggage, placed it inside the vehicle, and opened the door for her. Soon, they drove away from the airport. As the SUV sped through the Ghana highway, Cynthia admired the environment through the window. The roads, the buildings, everything looked different from Nigeria. Curiosity got the better of her. She asked how far they were from Chief Raymond's house. The driver simply smiled and assured her they would arrive soon. After some minutes, the SUV slowly approached an enormous luxury mansion surrounded by high walls and a gigantic gate. The driver honked, and security men immediately opened the gate. As they entered the compound, Cynthia's mouth almost dropped open. The mansion looked more like a palace than a house. Deep inside herself, she wondered how one human being could own such massive wealth. The driver carried her luggage and led her into the main building. Inside, everything screamed money. The sparkling chandeliers, polished marble floors, expensive decorations. It was beauty on another level. While Cynthia was still busy admiring the mansion, one of the bodyguards went upstairs to inform Chief Raymond that the guest had arrived. Moments later, Chief Raymond appeared from the staircase. Calm, rich, powerful. He welcomed Cynthia warmly and asked about her journey before leading her to a luxurious room so she could freshen up after the long flight. The days that followed felt like heaven to Cynthia. Luxury meals, expensive treatment, comfort she had never experienced before. Everything seemed perfect. She was supposed to stay 3 days in Ghana, but strangely, things changed after only 2 days. Then came the night that would silently change everything. While Cynthia slept deeply, completely unaware of her surroundings, Chief Raymond quietly woke up in the middle of the night. Carefully, without making any noise, he took one of Cynthia's personal clothing items and silently walked out of the room. He entered a hidden secret chamber, buried deep inside the mansion. The room looked terrifying. Colored candles burned from different corners. Thick incense smoke filled the air. A strange goddess-like statue stood in the darkness while dim candlelight danced across the walls. Standing in the center of the room, Chief Raymond began performing mysterious rituals. The atmosphere grew darker, more disturbing, more dangerous. Minutes later, he finished what he was doing and quietly returned the item back to the room exactly where he found it. Cynthia remained asleep, completely unaware that something evil had happened around her. The next morning, Chief Raymond informed Cynthia that he had an urgent business trip to Dubai and asked her to return to Nigeria while he was away. Before she left, he opened a briefcase packed full of fresh dollars. Cynthia was speechless. She could hardly believe her eyes. Money she had never imagined touching in her life was sitting right before her. Excitement immediately erased every question in her mind. But unknown to Cynthia, she had just stepped into a dangerous connection far bigger than she could understand. Back in Nigeria, Sandra's phone suddenly rang. The number was from Ghana. She answered confidently, expecting normal business. But the voice on the other side delivered a message that made the atmosphere instantly heavy. Chief Raymond was satisfied, and now he wanted another girl. Sandra fell silent. Without knowing it, the business she thought was bringing easy money was gradually becoming the same business that would one day destroy lives. After returning from Ghana, Cynthia's life changed overnight. The ordinary girl people once knew suddenly became a completely different person. Within weeks, she bought a beautiful luxury house in Lagos. A brand new white Range Rover was parked proudly in front of her compound. Expensive designer clothes filled her wardrobe. The latest iPhone 17 Pro Max never left her hand. People around her were shocked. Some admired her. Some became jealous. Others quietly wondered where such sudden wealth was coming from. But Cynthia no longer cared about anybody's opinion. She had tasted money. Real money. Meanwhile, Sandra kept trying to reach her. Several calls, voice notes, messages, but Cynthia ignored every single one. Sometimes the phone would ring endlessly without answer. Other times, Sandra's calls were rejected completely. Slowly, Sandra started feeling uncomfortable. Something didn't feel right. Then, almost 4 months later, everything changed. Cynthia suddenly became sick. At first, it looked ordinary. Body weakness, constant headaches, strange tiredness. But within weeks, her health began getting worse. Hospital after hospital, different doctors, different medical tests, different medications. Yet, nothing improved. Instead, her body kept deteriorating. Fear entered her family. When her condition became critical, her mother and elder brother hurriedly traveled from the village to Lagos. The moment they saw Cynthia lying weak and unrecognizable, their hearts shattered. The family moved her from one hospital to another, searching desperately for a solution, but help never came. Then came the painful day nobody expected. Cynthia was confirmed dead. Her mother's cry filled the hospital corridor. The brother stood frozen, unable to believe what had happened. The luxury house, the expensive car, the money, none of them could save her. Broken with grief, the family carried Cynthia's lifeless body back to their village for burial. Far away in Lagos, Sandra received the news. Shock seized her. Fear slowly crept into her mind, but she tried convincing herself it was only coincidence. She had no idea that another storm was already approaching.